Truly astonishing scenes at the MGM Grand for a massive pre-fight weigh-in, unprecedented. The fight of the century is on. Floyd Money Mayweather will meet his longtime nemesis, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. A very warm welcome to our final countdown. Carl, Glenn, Johnny and I experiencing something I don't think we'll ever experience again. The weigh-in, well, we've already had the event, haven't we?
You know what, you've got to commend both fighters and their teams for fulfilling their commercial and fan commitments, because you've got everything expected in regards to the build-up to this fight. All they have to do now is deliver fight night.
Carl, I saw you taking your photos along with so many other champions past and present. A who's who, a party.
That's right. I'm not usually one for photographs, but I got wrapped up in the whole event. It was more like a concert. Unbelievable scenes.
I mean, Glenn, you've been coming here for so many years, and you were just, your eyes were glazed, weren't they?
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, certainly it's lived up to the height. It's exceeded the expectations. It's just unbelievable. You know, the biggest names in boxing were standing around getting photographs, laughing. They're all joking. They just loved it.
Let's put it into perspective. This is a weigh-in. This place is ram-packed for a weigh-in. A simple weigh-in, and these guys, especially Manny Pacquiao, he's loving it. Walk slow, big smile on his face. Floyd Mayweather, he's got the swagger.
They both looked superbly confident. I couldn't fault them. I'd expect them to be like that, if I'm honest. You know, this is the biggest fight in their careers. It's a massive fight, the biggest fight in history.
And it was such
they lived
fun,
up to it.
wasn't it, Glenn, Carl, for the fighters around and the fans too?
It really was an occasion, an event, and one to be remembered. Mayweather, he looked like serious business as usual. Pacquiao just seemed to be enjoying himself, so relaxed.
Carl, you're the younger, the fresher of us all. You're the one that's been anything close to this last year, 80,000 people at Wembley. What kind of pressure, or what is going through their mind at this time?
I think if the training's been done correct as a fighter, if the training's done, there's no corners been cut, you come to these weigh-ins and you just enjoy the whole occasion. You can relax because you know you've got nothing to worry about. Obviously, you've got an opponent to deal with. Manny Pacquiao's got to face Mayweather, the best fighter of this era. But Manny Pacquiao's a phenomenal force, so this is quite an evenly matched fight.
Both beautifully inside the 10 stone 7 limit and physical perfection, the pair.
They were, both of them. Floyd looked, as always, you know, his skin was shiny, looked so healthy, so fit, looked superb. Manny, when he got on the scales, Andre Ward next to him, he got excited saying, it's the old Manny Pacquiao, he's back, he's hard again.
Just says something, I think, here to Floyd. I wonder what that was.
He thanked him.
Yeah, he thanked him for the opportunity, because that's right. He said he thanked him because he was more than happy to get the opportunity.
Look at that from Manny.
Yeah, he soaked it up. You know, so much love. I mean, people really do like Manny Pacquiao. He is the people's champion, isn't he? And it showed there.
And people are really going to remember this, aren't they, as an occasion to sort of, you know, in their box of lifetime memories.
People, I'm coming across so many English people, so many Brits on the street who have spent good money just to be here. They're not going to fight. They know they haven't got tickets. They're even going to try and get it on camera somewhere, but they've just come just to be a part of this.
Barrera, Morales, Deontay Wilder down there, Andre Ward, you know, everybody.
Hopkins, he read in one of my interviews earlier. Everybody's here. Everybody wants to be a part of it. I saw Mike Tyson walking down earlier, and he, you know, people leaving him alone. Their eyes are just fixed on the stage with Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather.
It's got to be special for fighters when other fighters are in there and they're like giddy little children taking pictures, getting excited. That makes it very special.
It does, yes. I mean, because fighters don't usually get excited about big fights, and especially me, I'm stood there on my phone like a big kid, taking pictures and getting involved, which I don't like to see people do, and I was doing it. This is how this event's getting people.
You felt like a big kid, and you also got the experience of being alongside Floyd Mayweather for an interview with our colleague from Sky Sports News, Fraser Dainton.
For 19 years as a professional, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't the support from the fans.
You've got there with a lot of hard work and dedication as well, let's be honest.
Yes. I pushed myself to the limit. I believed in myself. I believed in my skills. And my job is to go out there and be the best Floyd Mayweather that I can be.
Have you had to push yourself even further this time for this fight? Everybody that we talk to says that, yeah, Floyd is putting in a little bit more work than usual this time around.
Oh, well, I tried. I worked hard. So I feel good. So we just see how everything plays out tomorrow.
But at the same time, is that an idea of just how seriously you are taking Manny Pacquiao?
I take every fighter serious. That's why I'm 47-0. And I'm not overlooking this guy. I'm going to take my time and go out there and be smart. You know, this guy right here is a hell of a champion himself. You know, one of the guys of our era, you know, but, you know, I only got one more fight left. After this fight, 19 years, I had a great career.
Carl, do you want to ask Floyd Mayweather a question?
I wanted to ask you, Floyd, if you don't mind. In my last fight, before I knocked out George Groves at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 fans, I worked a lot on power. So I did a lot of swimming, and I chopped down a few trees myself. And then I held my feet, and then I knocked him out. And I'm not known as a one-punch knockout man. Have you been doing that yourself a little bit?
Yes, I've been
working on power.
I just been swimming this camp. You know, earlier on in my career, I had a lot more knockouts to where, you know, later on in my career, my hands had a lot of wear and tear. You know, after 30 years of fighting, of course, your hands and your body going to have a lot of wear and tear. So my hands took a lot of wear and tear later on in my career, and fighters, when I would beat them, they would go into survival mode just to survive.
Okay.
But we've been swimming. We've been also working on chopping trees, so hopefully everything plays out like it should.
I just want to know if you're looking at the knockout or not. You're probably not.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
I bet you absolutely love that, and getting inside the Mayweather mind.
Definitely. I can't believe he even knows who I am. Little island, old England, floating at the end of the Atlantic Ocean. And he said you're some champion yourself. But I got to ask him a question that I'd really wanted to know about his power. He's been swimming a lot and chopping trees down. And it's interesting, in the end there, he admitted that he's working on power and he will be looking for the knockout. But I don't think he's giving too much away. But his old legs means he's got to stand there and have a fight. And I just wanted to know if he was genuinely be working on that. So, yeah, I was just amazed that he knew who I was and flattered to talk to the money man.
Glenn, did he look relaxed? You were very close to him when he was doing that piece.
He looked very relaxed. I think the one thing you've got to remember is he's made this event happen. It's down to him. You know, he's picked the time, and it's, you know, so he's got to be confident. He's got to feel this is the right time for him to do a job. And I really think he will. I think when he sees the amount of public and how much Manny Pacquiao is liked, you know, this is a Filipino in America, and yet he's the big champion. He's a 47-0, so I think he'll really want to do this in style.
A mouth-watering showdown. It takes two to tango. Ed caught up with Manny.
Manny, you've made the weight. You're all smiles. How are you feeling?
I feel relaxed. I feel confidence tomorrow and ready for the fight.
Why did you thank Floyd Mayweather at the scales?
I think he's a little bit worried. Because he will face, I'm different to the 47.
It seems like all week you've been feeding off the fans and enjoying the attention and the atmosphere.
Yes, I'm enjoying to the fans because that is the tournament. A lot of fans coming here in the win. So, how much more tomorrow?
People talk about the pressure, but are you enjoying the occasion?
I'm very enjoying.
Give us a little insight into what your tactics will be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow we have a lot of different techniques. We practice in the gym, and I think more aggressive and timing. Aggressive that defense, not careless, too much careless. And I think we will do our best in training.
Is it a fight you think you can win on points, or do you need a knockout?
Either points, we focus on that. We make sure that every round we're ahead of points.
How confident are you of getting the victory?
I'm very confident.
Thank you, Manny.
Looks so relaxed. He's been cool and calm and composed all week, hasn't he?
Some fighters feed off this, and you could tell how Manny carried himself, how he got on the stage, how he did our interview, and he smiled and he was a bit giddy on stage, that he's feeding off.
He's a very humble man, isn't he? You know, and I think that's where, you know, he feels privileged that there's so much onus on him that you know, so many people have come to see him fight. And, you know, he's enjoying it and relishing every minute of it.
His legs look big and strong, Carl. Obviously,
did, yes.
You know, he's gone up through the weights like Mayweather has, but for Pacquiao, extraordinary weight span.
Yeah, he's put a lot more weight on, so he's naturally the smaller man. You know, Mayweather being a bigger man, he may have been working on power. What we've got here?
From 106 pounds up to 147 pounds, 41 pounds throughout his career.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight to put on, so he's naturally the smaller man, but he's grown into it and developed well. And he's shown that he can operate at that weight division.
But we're talking about the best part of 20 years, aren't we? The best part of 2 decades going through the weights. He's never jumped up massively. He's always went up as his body's grown and he's filled out into you know, his physique.
So for the world's 2 best fighters, we might as well have the 2 best MCs, Michael Buffer and Jimmy Lennon.
Well, here with legendary MC Jimmy Lennon, who's sharing MC duties on the night with Michael Buffer. Not for the first time, Jimmy.
No, we've done this actually twice before. Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson a number of years ago. Prior to that, we did it with Chiquita Gonzalez and Michael Carbajal, a big fight in Las Vegas. So I guess it's only the big fights that brings out the both of us, and this is certainly a big fight.
And I'm joined by legendary HBO announcer Michael Buffer. And Michael, do you still get excited for big events like this?
Oh, you've got to get excited, and this is the most unbelievable weigh-in I've ever seen. It's a spectacular event.
On the night itself, you're both going to call out your respective fighters from your network, aren't you?
Yes, we are. It's divided up quite nicely. We'll both be able to say our taglines in some form or some place or another. He will bring out Pacquiao, I will bring out Mayweather. He will introduce Pacquiao, I will introduce Mayweather. And then we get to sit down and watch it unfold because we all can't wait for the first bell on this fight. It's going to be a great one.
Who do you think is going to win? You'll be in the ring.
Well, you know, I have to be politically correct, and I can't really answer that. But I can also just be very honest, and I see this as a 50-50 fight. That's what makes it so exciting and so compelling.
What happens at the conclusion? Who announces the winner?
Well, obviously, if it's a knockout, the Fighters Ring announcer will announce that. If it goes to the scorecards, which we expect it to, of course, we're going to, prior to tomorrow, flip a coin. It's going to be evenly divided up. One person opens it, the other person reads the three scores, and then the first announcer then reads the winner. And so it will not be given away in any way. I may introduce Pacquiao as the winner. He may introduce Mayweather as the winner. So it won't be revealed.
Fascinating, eh? Great guys, the pair of them. Real boxing fans too. Jimmy and Michael will also be sharing MC duties on the card. Two talents on display. Vasyl Lomachenko, he'll be brought in by Michael Buffer. Leo Santa Cruz will be called in by Jimmy Lennon. Hello, welcome back to our final countdown. What a weigh-in. You know, all attention on Mayweather-Pacquiao, but let's not forget, Johnny, there are other star fighters, star attractions.
After seeing what's happened, I bet every fighter in the world wants to be on the new card. And, of course, one of the fortunate ones is Vasyl Lomachenko to be fortunate enough to show his art.
Well, you get good fighters on undercards of fights like that. I remember when Manny Pacquiao was on undercards and you know, people weren't noticing. Now he's the main event, and this guy, Lomachenko, I think is going to be the main event in the future. He's a big name. He's only had 4 fights, and yet he's a world champion.
Rodriguez is around hoping to upset the apple cart, Carl. Can you see that happening?
He's looking good. He has, you know, he's experienced himself at a good level, and he's a very talented fighter. So the upset could be on, but you just never know.
Really good, isn't he, Lomachenko? World featherweight title on the line. We've also got Leo Santa Cruz as well, the super bantamweight king who's going up.
He is going up. I wonder why. But there was some great fights for him in the super bantamweight, but maybe it's even a better one with Abner Mares at featherweight.
Scott quick, Carl France, and they wanted him, but it looks like Mares he wants.
Well, that's a big fight over here, isn't it? It's a huge fight. 2-way world champion, 3-way world champion. So it's all on the line there. But he's a great fighter, Leo Santa Cruz. Really looking forward to get to see him close up.
I'm quite sure Frampton and Quigg will still keep an eye on this just in case he decides to look back over his shoulder, Carl.
Well, that's a fight we all want to see, Frampton and Quigg. If one of them can pick up another world title, you know, between them, that makes that fight even bigger. But it's a tough lineup in that weight division. It's not an easy fight for any of them.
I'm sure Leo Santa Cruz and Vasyl Lomachenko were taking their own photos of the main event. So many fighters in and around the MGM ground this week, and Ed's caught up with a fair few.
Well, Zab, you fought Floyd Mayweather and you've been sparring with him. How's he looking and what do you think is going to happen in the fight?
He's looking superb. Hand speed is great. Defense is great. His condition is always superb. My prediction, 48-0 by KO.
I think that Manny can actually knock out Mayweather, but I also think that Mayweather can knock out Manny. I think they both have punching power where they can get the job done.
This is boxing, and I do feel that if the fight becomes a close fight, I think they'll get the decision to Manny, because you got to think about the money-wise. Whether it's a draw or Manny wins, the rematch is more money.
Is Mayweather able to counterpunch Pacquiao? Is that the key as you did?
I think Mayweather he's very smart. He used a counterpuncher because this is the perfect style to win this fight. This is a perfect style to put bad Manny Pacquiao. He has the perfect style.
that combination between Floyd and Manny is going to produce a great fight. I think it's going to live up to the hype. And can Floyd Mayweather implement his game plan and take away Floyd Mayweather's strengths, and then vice versa? Can Manny implement his game plan and his strength and take away Floyd's strengths? That's the question. And the man that is better on the night, rises to the occasion on the night, will be the man who gets his hand raised. So I don't have a direct prediction, but I think it's going to be just a great fight.
Floyd is the bigger man. Do you see that as a big advantage?
I see it as a very big advantage because, you know, that means Pacquiao has to really try and make up the space in between to catch him. He said he's going to go in there and catch him with a 1-2. I don't think you can catch any great fighter with a 1-2. You know, you got to throw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 8 punches, or, you know, more than 3 punches to catch a guy.
First 6 rounds, it's going to be all hell breakout. I think that Pacquiao is going to use his speed, use his foot movement. Aggressiveness is going to come in and he's going to throw punches. Mayweather's going to have to figure out early on in the fight to be able to counteract that. And I believe that the first 6 rounds is going to be really exciting. I believe Mayweather would take over. I believe his IQ would kick in. I believe he would try to slow Pacquiao down, make him be one-dimensional puncher or two-dimensional puncher, then 10 punches coming at Mayweather. I believe Mayweather wins a decision. I won't be surprised if it's a close decision, possibly controversial decision, but I believe he will pull it out by decision. It will be knockdowns. It will be blood, wherever it's coming from this side or that side. But I believe it will be one of those fights where a lot of people will be satisfied with, but it will be some controversial conversations about who won, what round, and the outcome.
Excellent to hear the views there.
You know what, all fighters have got the experience and they've all put their input in, and it's very hard for them to just pick a certain winner, wasn't it?
I think it is in this fight. You know, that's why it's such a magnificent fight, because you walk down the strip and ask different people, and everyone's going to say Mayweather. Next one's going to say Pacquiao. You know, I must say that people do like Pacquiao. People do want him to win. That's where the heart is. But I think a lot of people's head is saying Mayweather.
Heart and head, yes. Let's look at the tail of the tape and how the two great fighters line up. You see Mayweather slightly older, but he has the reach advantage, the height advantage, the naturally bigger guy, Glenn.
Yeah, he's got the weight, he's got the reach. He's campaigned at the higher division for longer, but Pacquiao, that doesn't worry him. He's been in with plenty big men. We've seen with Margarita, we've seen with De La Hoya, with Cotto. You know, he's been in with big men, and he's not afraid to slug it out. He just doesn't care about that.
Carl, would you look at those stats and think, you know what, it's all in favour of Mayweather, even though he's the older of the two?
You would do if you'd not seen Manny Pacquiao fight. He's fought the bigger men. You know, Glenn just mentioned some names there, and they're bigger men. They're taller than him, they're naturally bigger and stronger.
More professional experience.
Definitely, exactly. And, you know,
let's have a look at the odds, Carl, there. More money going on Pacquiao as we speak. Day by day, that's been happening. 5-1 on the knockout there as well. Mayweather's still the slight favourite.
I feel like the emotional money's definitely going on Pacquiao. People seem to want him to win. They want to see Mayweather earn his money. You know, he's so flippant with his money. People I think they're getting annoyed of it. And Mayweather seemed to come in today and seemed to be a bit annoyed himself about that.
Glenn, I want your take on the referee, Kenny Bayless, Richard Steele's protege. He's been in the middle of many fights for Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Yeah, he knows them both very well, so he's familiar with them. They're familiar with him, so it's a good choice. He's very experienced. He's covered them on many fights before. You know, he gets himself heard, but he doesn't take over the show as sometimes referees do. So that's good. That means we'll get a good fight.
No complaints so far from any fight in regards to the referee or the judges.
No, which is amazing, because usually, you know, somebody's got something to say and they've got some complaints. You've got 2 Nevada judges here and 1 from Connecticut, very experienced judges and a very, very experienced referee. No complaints, which is great.
Yeah, very experienced judges, very experienced referee. Oh, it's getting so exciting now. Just 2 more shows to come for you. The 3rd episode of Inside Mayweather Pacquiao, 4:15 this afternoon on Sky Sports 1. And the gloves are off here in Vegas.
Boxing's almost like that really bad girlfriend that you can't leave. You know, like, it's like no matter how bad it is, there's something that keeps you there. And that's the thing about boxing. Yeah, there's scandals and decisions. Yeah, there's crazy moments that happen. But humans just can't keep their eyes off train wrecks. And somehow, somewhere, you want to see a crazy, bloody fight, a violent fight. You want to see a classic fight.
Oh, we'd love a classic. Don't miss it. Rejoin us from midnight for the mega match, live and exclusive on Sky Sports Box Office. Earliest anthems 3:45 a.m. For connected Sky customers, the easiest way to book Mayweather v Pacquiao is with your remote control. Simply press Box Office, navigate to the Sports tab, then select the fight. Booking with your remote is the only way to add the event to your Sky planner, and you'll then only be charged if you watch it. Cable customers should contact your operator. So, gentlemen, what's going to happen?
Well, Hollywood couldn't have scripted a better build-up, a better weigh-in, a better, promotion for this fight. Let's hope we've got the fight of the 30 years ago. We had Hagler Hearns. Dare we dream that we get something like this? We've got the fighters capable of doing that.
Hours away. Wouldn't it be great if it was just one to remember for the ages, not just the event?
Can you imagine
but the fight?
If it doesn't live up to expectations? It's got to. It's going to. You know, Pacquiao's here. They're both in great shape. Mayweather, he wants to prove why he's 47-0, why he's got that unbeaten record. Pacquiao doesn't seem, he's had a bad knockout, but he's coming back fresh off a great win. He's got the crowd behind him. He's the people's champion. So the whole ingredients is there for a really spectacular evening.
Both fighters have got the responsibility of their people.
They know that. Manny Pacquiao knows, he's blessed that he's got this opportunity. He knows that the public are all behind him. He knows people like him, so he will not let them down. That's the sort of man he is. He's humble, but he's a great fighter. He will fight till he can't.
Thanks very much to Carl, to Glenn. Johnny and I, we're ready. No more sleeps.
No more tick-tock flatline.
Flatline. I tell you what, let's bring it on.
Massive.
He's claiming that he's #1 pound for pound in boxing. I want to feel the punches of #1 pound for pound.
Let's do it.
To Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Pacquiao fight Floyd Mayweather next. Give us the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. Floyd Mayweather Jr.